Welcome into ESPN's coverage of the U.S. women's national soccer team. We are coming to you live from Orlando City Stadium in Orlando, Florida for the United States final match of the 2018 SheBelieves Cup as the U.S. squares off against England. Great to have you with us here in Orlando, Florida, alongside Olympic and World Cup champion Julie Foudy. I'm Sebastian Salazar. This is not only, Julie, the last game of the SheBelieves Cup, it is the de facto championship match. It's winner takes all tonight.
And Phil Neville said it. He said, we are treating this, the English team, like it is a World Cup final, to which Jill Ellis said, that's right, because we don't want to finish in the same place they did last year. So the U.S. really wanting to put the fear and intimidation factor back in.
So how did we get here? Well, the U.S. won their first game 1-0 over Germany. Then came a 1-1 draw against France. A good result, but maybe not the best performance, Julie.
Definitely not the best performance by the United States. A much improved French team. Mallory Pugh with the only goal for the United States. But then on the other side, only 3 minutes later, Leigh Sommer, their star forward, does what she does best. The little shake and bake, finds the back of the net, and she ended up equalizing, and that is all that both teams ended up getting is 1 point.
So the U.S. with a win and a draw so far in this tournament. England with a win and a draw so far in this tournament. Ellen White has been a big part of the English effort, and that, Julie, is where we're going for the subject of our Continental Tire Analyst Corner.
And this is something fans may remember from last year. Ellen White in the 89th minute of the same tournament, the SheBelieves Cup, getting the game winner, which gave the United States a loss. And this year against Germany, she had the all-important 2 goals, and this one, the all-important equalizer that got them the 1 point against Germany.
So as we have mentioned, it is winner takes all. However, a draw in this case would favor England because of the 4-1 result they put up against France in the tournament opener. The English have a much better goal differential, so the U.S. has to win if they want the 2018 SheBelieves Cup. The teams are ready to take the field. When we return, the starting lineups for both sides and the opening kickoff between England and the United States. Welcome back to Orlando, Florida, as we get set for the SheBelieves Cup finale. USA and England, the American Outlaws, always do it well. Here's today's TIFO. We're told it was put together by an all-female crew, Julie, in the SheBelieves spirit, as we take a look at Jill Ellis's starting 11.
4-3-3, Ali Long getting the start in that holding midfield position. The last time she actually started, July 27th, Tournament of Nations. 2 new outside backs as well. And for England on the other side, they're going in the 4-3-3, and pay particular attention to Fran Kirby, number 10 in the middle. She runs the show for England.
Julie, Orlando not all that far from Parkland, Florida, community rocked by the unspeakable tragedy of a school shooting last month. Right now, let's go field side to PA announcer Paco Lopez, who has more on one of the victims, Alyssa Al-Hadef, quite an accomplished soccer player.
Ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please rise and join the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas soccer team, Parkland Soccer Club, U.S. Soccer, and the players on the field in a moment of silence as we honor the life of Alyssa Al-Hadef and those of the other 16 victims, as we express our support and solidarity for those affected by the tragic events that occurred in Parkland, Florida on February 14th.
Julie, many of Alyssa Al-Hadef's teammates, friends, and family, all guests of U.S. Soccer for today's match. And from all of us at ESPN, our deepest condolences to Alyssa's family and everyone in the Parkland community.
Yeah, they had 3 of her teams actually come to this game today. Her JV team and high school varsity team and club team, and they all were given USA jerseys with Alyssa's last name on the back of them, Al-Hadef.
We're underway here in Orlando, Florida. Finale of the 2018 She Believes Cup. United States wearing the all reds, going left to right across your screen. England, the Lionesses, in the all white, and right to left.
Good indication 20 seconds in, Sebastian, of how that front line for the United States wants to play. Alex Morgan pressing right away. They don't think they had enough success with that against France in their second game.
Megan Rapinoe, the in-swinging cross knotted away by the English defense. Oh, will skip through the area and out for a throw-in. Last touch by the United States. Again, winner takes all tonight. 2 teams have accumulated 4 points through the first 2 matches of this tournament. England's 4-1 win over France in the tournament opener, the difference in terms of goal difference. And that means that the English can indeed settle for a draw in this match, and that would make them She Believes champions. U.S. must win. Alyssa Nair, her first touch of the match. Nice distribution to Megan Rapinoe. Rapinoe with the game-winning goal against Germany. Tidy finish on a breakaway. Alex Morgan with the cross, swept away. Deep throw in here for the United States. Just over 90 seconds gone. Crystal Dunn, starting as a left back, might raise some eyebrows. Remember, she began her career very much as a defender, transitioning into a forward, and during her time last year with Chelsea, played quite a bit. Maybe not as a traditional left back, but as a left wing back in their 3-back formation. So different look for her, but perhaps not an altogether unfamiliar position. Tierna Davidson under some serious pressure here. Nair has come all the way out. Davidson, as Jill Ellis described her to us yesterday, cool as a cucumber.
And that's one of the rare instances we've seen in this young 19-year-old's career with the national team, only her 3rd cap in, where she had a little bit of an issue there trying to get it back to Nair.
Demi Stokes bringing up the left flank for England. Unable to create.
You mentioned Crystal Dunn playing that outside back position in the early parts of her career, especially with the under-20 national team. Won a World Cup title with them, launching forward from that outside back position, and got one of the goals in that final there. I think the game winner in that final, actually. And that's really the beauty of Dunn, is she's got so much flexibility. She can play in all 3 lines. She jokes that, you know, eventually one year she's hoping to play in just one position. But it really is a strength of hers in that she can play anywhere.
It's that double-edged sword, though, that we always talk about, right? Now, you've heard Crystal say it, that at some point she'd like to settle into a position. The good thing is, with as much depth as there is on this roster, if you're versatile, you got a better shot at making the team. Ball in over the top, offside flag stays down. Ellen White does get the touch, now the flag comes up.
And we should say Kelly O'Hara originally in this tournament was starting in the first 2 games in that position, and has a banged up knee and hamstring. And
the Terminator.
Yeah, all sorts of little minor things that are nagging, and so she did not. I don't even know if she dressed tonight, actually. I
think the decision was to play it safe with O'Hara, and you can understand why. She kind of dramatically flung her knee brace off in the last match. That got a lot of attention, but it's been a tough tournament for O'Hara on the physical side. Emily Sonnet set to throw the ball in. She's getting the start at right back today. back line of Sonnet, Dahlkemper, Davidson, and Dunn. Demi Stokes offering the throw for England. Brought down by Kira Walsh. Ball stripped away by Alex Morgan. Here comes the U.S. Lindsey Horan taking some air out of the ball. Finds Allie Long. Now to Morgan. Swings it wide to Rapinoe. U.S. starting to ping balls around the surface here at Orlando City Stadium. Dahlkemper. Nice switch here. She's got a wide open Rapinoe. Manages to bring it down to Dunn. Dunn surging forward. Dunn for Rapinoe. The low driven cross. Nearly picked out Alex Morgan. U.S. with some nice early pressure. Opening 5 minutes of this match.
And a much better sequence already for the United States. That's something they had a huge problem with against France. Just couldn't get a rhythm, couldn't find that weak side quick enough. And you see that all started from a Dahlkemper, about 40-50 yard ball sent to Rapinoe. But the patience as well. It was a thing Jill Ellis talked a lot about yesterday, is just a lack of patience against France and really no rhythm on the offensive side.
U.S. goal against France came off a set piece from none other than Megan Rapinoe. Will we get a repeat here? 7th minute. High lofted ball from Rapinoe, and that one just a bit too far. Julie, we had a chance to talk to both Megan Rapinoe and Carly Lloyd, who you just saw on your screen yesterday, and as two of the veterans in the group. They were pretty honest with us about kind of how disappointed they were in the effort against France.
Yeah, and when you hear Carly say things like, you know, it's pretty simple. It's got to be better, and the mentality is too inconsistent, and we need to be intimidating teams again. And you know, it's clear they were not happy with the effort against France. And she says, you know, and she's dead right. You know, what has made the U.S. team so dangerous for so many years is just that mentality that you're going to always grind it out.
Dahlkemper looking to distribute out of the back. One of the first touches for Mallory Pugh. Lloyd tried the back heel, couldn't connect. Dahlkemper and Davidson, your two center backs. Of course, still no Becky Sauerbrunn. One of a few players dealing with injuries. Actually, Becky's probably live tweeting this game and doing a better job analyzing it than you or I. We should get her in the booth.
I hope she's live tweeting. That was brilliant.
Davidson intervenes. This ball finds its way to Carly Lloyd. Mallory Pugh with the goal against France, her third of this calendar year. Scored a couple against Denmark in late January. England's left back, Demi Stokes. She's been dangerous so far on that left foot. Good cross to the back post. The aforementioned Carly Lloyd, her 250th cap. 6th all-time on the U.S. list. Co-captain in this crew alongside the aforementioned Becky Sauerbrunn. One Julie Foudy, 4th on that list. Do you know the exact number of caps you had?
They keep finding them, I think. So I don't know what we're at to now. Maybe 272 or something.
272 on the dot.
The other day they're like, oh, we found another one. That's when you know you're old. Our producer Todd Koulis telling me in my ear I got 2 mall appearances they're also giving me credit for. Ribbon cutting appearances.
Another nice long ball out of the back from Dahlkemper. She's found Dunn. Dunn, of course, set to return from Chelsea to North Carolina Courage, which last played in the NWSL for the Washington Spirit. Rapinoe, left-footed cross. Thought it might have taken a deflection. It did not. Goal kick forthcoming for England. The American Outlaws in full voice here at Orlando City Stadium. They've been waiting for this one. We were here a couple hours ago and they were already starting to fill that section. Millie Bright playing forward for England. Long ball in, it'll test Sonnet. I don't know if anybody got a touch there. White trying to chase it down. Runs out of real estate. 10 minutes gone here at Orlando City Stadium. US and England scoreless. Winner takes all, though a draw would give the 2018 SheBelieves Cup to the English side. Davidson, just a sophomore at Stanford. So impressive how she came into the camp beginning of the year. She earned that start against Denmark. You thought, well, okay, it's not a tournament, but I think the fact that she's getting these minutes here says quite a bit.
The only player on the field outside of Alyssa Nair that has 3 full 90s.
Here's Alex Morgan racing into the box. Her first touch a bit long. Karen Bardsley, the English goalie, coming out to challenge.
And here's the speed of Alex Morgan, what makes her so different and difficult to contain, and especially if England's going to play a high line like that. A bit unlucky with that touch. You can see the shiner she picked up in the game the other day. Saw her yesterday when she walked into practice. I said, whoa, where did that one come from? That's a beauty.
Yeah, she went up for a corner kick against France. I think headed the back of the French defender's head. You know, we were talking about it earlier, Julie, that the performance against France wasn't great. I actually thought Morgan was quite good, especially her play with back to goal. Good distribution from that top spot.
Going back to Tierna Davidson calling her cool as a cucumber. We asked her where that comes from, and she's like, I don't know. My mom always complains I'm not emotional enough. She goes, but I guess it helps me on the field. She's funny.
What did she say? What did she told us she did the night before her?
Oh yeah, you're like, do you ever get nervous then? Like even against, you know, big games? She watched Finding Dory to chill her mind before Germany, so maybe there is hope she might get a little nervous.
And it worked, going up against one of the world's best, and Alexandra Popp. And you know, I listened to the call. I don't think Ian Dark said Popp's name a whole bunch. Dahlkemper looking for that switch. Horan nearly knotted it on. Lucy Braun's the big win. Boy, she's got to be one of the best right backs in the world. Former North Carolina Tar Heel. Won a national title with UNC in 2009. Pugh looking for a quick touch to Lloyd. Good intervention from Stokes.
That's a good shot, a good wide shot of England's midfield and back line. Just content to stay about 20 yards between them. Dropping into that lower pressure. Occasionally you'll have one pop out like Fran Kirby here, but very compact, organized defense with not a lot of seams in that midfield.
What did Jill Ellis tell us yesterday? You can go through, over, or around. She said this game probably wasn't a go through. You'd either be going over or around this English block. Another switch to a wide open Rapinoe. Can she take advantage? Coming off a standout season with the Seattle Reign. Horan wheels and deals to Dunn. Dunn and Rapinoe on the same side. That's dangerous. Now Morgan. Beautiful build up here for the Americans. Rapinoe into the box. Clipped away by Abby McManus. Dunn wins a challenge.
Little ambitious by Horan there, but a great sign for the United States when Crystal Dunn, as their left back, is getting engaged on the offensive side.
Sonnet with the intercept. Sonnet, another one of these versatile players, showing she can play outside back today. Perhaps more known as a center back. Rapinoe under pressure. That Rapinoe-Bronze matchup, Julie, that's a good one. Look at Davidson. Beautiful work from the center back. She sprung the American attack here. Horan, the through ball. Lloyd into the box, the cross. U.S. getting in behind England, but so far the final pass has yet to be connected.
Yeah, that is the final piece of the puzzle. We saw Rapinoe in 2-3 times. Lloyd there, and everything's going to that near post that they're cutting. Finding a different seam, pulling it back a little bit, maybe finding that far post. But that's the last piece of the puzzle right now for the United States.
Morgan let it go. Pugh tried to run onto it. Karen Bardsley there to collect. Quick reminder, MLS on ESPN presented by Audi returns Sunday at 3 Eastern. Atlanta United hosts DC United from Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. Coverage begins at 3 Eastern on ESPN, also streaming live on the ESPN app. Stokes finds White here. White one-on-one with Dahlkemper. Big challenge from the American center back. Dahlkemper, a member of the North Carolina Courage. Allie Long under some pressure finds Sonnet, who clears down the line. Allie Long, a bit of a surprise starter today, no?
And well done in there right there, just to calmly get out of that tight space. Yeah, you've got Julie Ertz, who's still nursing a bit of a knee issue, still feeling pain. And Jill Ellis said she really wants to manage the minutes of Morgan Bryan and Andy Sullivan, who are both coming off some injuries. Sullivan with the ACL a year ago, but still trying to get her full legs underneath her.
Rapinoe nearly sneaking behind again there. Foul called on the U.S. It'll be a set piece for England. Long, one of a few players now that have crossed that rivalry. Portland Thorns now been traded to the Seattle Reign. Lloyd with a crunching tackle. Ball skitters out to Stokes.
And there's the work you see from the front three, coming back, doubling back, putting pressure on ball.
It's a front three that we are starting to get more and more familiar with, Julie. Rapinoe, Morgan, Pugh. We've seen it quite a bit of late.
And there's a consistency to that is not a coincidence. Jill wanting to see those three get some chemistry. Very different than what we saw last year, where there was a lot of different interchange and players starting. And she has made it a point to try and keep with those three up front. And they've been in form. They've been scoring. They've had some success.
Apologize if you're seeing a little breakup in our picture. We're having some technical difficulties. We are working on it back in the truck as we speak. Dahlkemper under pressure from Fran Kirby. Kirby wears the number 10 for England, certainly a player to watch this evening. She's the string puller for Phil Neville's side. Ball goes all the way back to Bardsley. Poor touch from Stokes. Good opportunity here for the U.S. Sonnet pushing up from her right back spot to take the throw. 19 minutes gone, 0-0. United States must win to claim the 2018 SheBelieves Cup. A draw will not get it done. Dahlkemper with some space. Beautiful cross-field ball again to Rapinoe. The switch is on. Rapinoe, Bronze, one-on-one. Rapinoe looking for the back heel. Bronze up to the task.
That's such a good ball by Dahlkemper. There has to be more product on that other side.
I have to say, it's exactly what Jill Ellis told us yesterday, that those switches would be on. Awkward bounce to lead to a corner kick here for the United States. Their first of the match. As we've seen throughout most of this tournament, it'll be Megan Rapinoe set to offer the delivery. 5 players in the box for the U.S. and a 6th lurking just outside, Mallory Pugh. Now she drops off. Davidson coming short. Davidson, the back heel. Rapinoe, chance to serve. Rapinoe has it stripped. From a corner kick all the way back to Alyssa Nair. She'll relaunch the attack down the left flank now. Done an unlucky touch, out of bounds, England throw. I know we said both teams would approach this like a final. It feels like a final, doesn't it? Nobody really wanted to take that chance.
Very compact, keeping things organized.
Again, the U.S. trying to right the wrongs of last year's SheBelieves Cup. The Americans finished last after a humiliating 3-0 defeat in the tournament finale against France. With a win, they take the tournament. A draw or a loss, and the 2018 SheBelieves Cup belongs to England. Mel Lawley in the corner, 19 on 19. As Crystal Dunn wins the one-on-one battle. Beal throw for England. Kirby in the box, turns, Kirby the chance to cross, she does. Dahlkemper stabs at it. Davidson lets it go, corner kick for England.
This is the danger of Fran Kirby. She can be quiet in moments, and then all of a sudden she gets a little space. She doesn't need a lot of space. Look at that first little touch to clear that defender. She's been creating problems all tournament in the middle there for England.
Kirby, 24 years old, plays for Chelsea, where she was a teammate of Crystal Dunn last season. Short corner for England. Kirby gets it back. Another long ball in. Horan first to it. Ball falls to White. White into the box. Double teamed, tries to get a cross off. Ball falls to Sonnet, who picks out Morgan. Morgan, beautiful touch. Can the Americans counter? Lloyd looking for the switch. Lucy Bronze there to intercept for England. Here come the Lionesses now. Game starting to open up a bit. Bronze racing up from a right back position, going one-on-one with Davidson. Davidson tracking her into a corner. Ball still in. I believe Dunn will draw the foul there on Bronze.
Lucy Bronze doesn't think that's a challenge worthy of a call. There's the first challenge on the inline. I think she's got a point, actually. Didn't see much to that one.
Wow. I'm not always one to drool over possession stats, but 71 to 29
you rarely see that happen,
is pretty telling.
And England really is content just to say, yeah, you can keep it back there, and then we're going to pick up these pieces like this in the midfield and run at you.
Turnover here from Dahlkemper. She immediately redeems herself and finds Lindsay Horan. Horan now running at the English defense. Rapinoe. Allie Long with some space. She'll take it herself. Long towards the box. Now Rapinoe. Rapinoe the shot! Well struck, off target, and we remain scoreless 25 minutes in.
Long, I thought she was going to crack one there. Instead, tries to find Pino. Comes just across it too much. Trying to drive it. You can see what she's trying to do, hitting that near post. But you know, when Rapinoe has a little bit of space, she's not afraid to pull that one.
Rapinoe cheering on her teammates. NWSL Best 11 a season ago. Ball over the top, nodded forward from Dahlkemper. Rapinoe, tricky touch. Now she's through. Kirby applies the pressure from behind, but the ball will make its way to Alex Morgan. Morgan turns on that left foot, sends it across, headed wide by Stokes. White still under pressure from Sonnet. She'll clear it, but only as far as Dahlkemper.
Morgan did well to keep that one alive.
Sonnet and Dahlkemper. Now Pugh. Pugh seemed to have a step there on Stokes, but the cross into the crowd.
Little back heel flare that lands in perfect spot. And then Morgan keeping that one alive as well.
England looking to play out of the back on this goal kick. Dunn challenging in there. It falls to Kirby. Can she find Taylor? No, Kirby elects to go herself, but ran into a three-player wall atop the American box. Jill Ellis told us to watch the counter to England's counter. Could this be it? Pugh and Stokes, one-on-one. Pugh rounds the corner. Here she goes. Pugh with the cross. Can't pick out Rapinoe, but the ball stays in. Horan sends it right back in. Back to Pugh. Stokes finds Jodie Taylor as England maintains some possession here. Quiet half hour so far for the English striker Taylor. Walsh to Bronze. McManus. Long ball over the top, no one there for the Lionesses. 28 minutes gone, 0-0, US and England. Last of 6 SheBelieves Cup matches. We'll know the tournament champion after this one. Winner takes all here tonight. Sonnet thought about the long ball, instead pulls it back for Dahlkemper. US perhaps trying to draw England out of their shell here.
Yeah, and a little more patience. They realize there's not a lot of seams in that midfield, so the one they've had success at is when Dahlkemper gets that. If they can switch it quick enough, she's able to find that weak side wide open.
Sonnet, nice ball into Lloyd. She's looking for Pugh. Well done by Bardsley. 2 English players down on the ground, as Mallory Pugh causing chaos in the English defense. It's McManus and Stokes.
Left back and center back both going for this ball here. Looks like she got her coming through. McManus on Stokes.
Yeah, as McManus got airborne there. Looks like her leg may have come up
her
and
foot might have
caught Stokes.
caught her. Yeah. Here's another angle of it. There's the foot right across. Ouch. And this is the beauty of what Mallory Pugh brings as a 19-year-old with a ton of confidence. Look at this. She faces up. She's 40 out. She's like, why not? Let's go. You love this in a forward. Get into that box. Just that final piece, again, is what's missing for the United States. But a great effort by Pugh. And then as that ball came back and she had the technical error where she lost it, she's now tracking 40 yards to recover it on the other side as well.
That front three, especially the wide players, Julie, are asked to do quite a bit in this system, aren't they?
They are, and especially because you have those three in the midfield pinched in. They're having to drop back in defensively. And because England is playing a front three, that means the outside backs are largely contained with a person, a player.
Some of that pressure from the United States here, causing problems for England. Rapinoe tried to find Morgan. Good reaction from McManus. Now Horan one-on-one. Bronze. Confidence in her own third. Davidson wins the battle on the second effort, but England will come away with it. Just mistimed the pass there as Taylor offside.
And the problem so far with England is just a lot of straight runs with a straight ball trying to catch them, and it's just not the angles they need. All three of those on the front line for England, nothing coming across. They're running straight into an offside position.
As we mentioned before, quiet night so far for Taylor. She is set to rejoin the NWSL with the Seattle Reign, most recently having played in Australia with Melbourne City. As a DC resident, I remember her from her 11 goals with the Spirit back in 2014. I think she was
also with Portland as well.
Tied for third in the NWSL in scoring that year. One of a few players on this English side that played their college ball here in the States. Taylor playing at Oregon State. U.S. dominating possession, if not the match, so far tonight. But possession won't get this team the tournament title. Morgan, the flick-on header. Against Germany, it was a play not too different from that led to the goal, with Rapinoe racing in behind. Morgan applying pressure, as is Rapinoe. English do a nice job to build out of it. Izzy Christensen to Walsh, now wide for Bronze. Kirby, well done from Carly Lloyd in the battle of tens. Phil Neville, Manchester United legend. Much of his career at Everton too. Taking over the English side. It was a, how do I say this, Julie, heavily criticized hire. And I think fairly criticized. A guy with no kind of senior managerial experience.
No experience in the women's game.
No experience in the women's game, I think. And it's a pretty big job. This is the third-ranked team in the world you're talking about with England. Some of those critics may have shied off after the 4-1 shellacking of France, but if you look closer at that French lineup on that day, it might give you some context into why that game went the way it did.
Yeah, then you saw France win 3-0 to Germany earlier today. Gives you more context into that first team they put out there, a very young team.
Christensen to Walsh, who sprays it wide. And Lawley offside. MLS on ESPN presented by Audi returns Sunday 3 Eastern. Atlanta United, DC United from Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. Coverage begins 3 Eastern on ESPN. Game also available live on ESPN app. On the 31st, San Jose Earthquakes hosting NYCFC from Avaya Stadium in San Jose, California. Coverage on that night begins 8 Eastern over on ESPN2. Bardsley, the sweeping clearance, can't get it past Pugh. Wright brings it down. White triple teamed. She of the all-important brace against Germany draws the foul.
Well done by the back four of the United States. Sonnet not allowing White any room to turn or face up, getting some help from her teammates there as well.
We were mentioning England's managerial switch, Phil Neville taking over. Mark Sampson was dismissed last year after, quote, inappropriate and unacceptable behavior with female players in a previous role. There were allegations against him of racism as well, Julie. So the FA has been heavily criticized for their handling of the situation before Neville was hired, and then the Neville hiring really upset some people. White nearly picks out Taylor. Davidson stepping up. Christensen, nice through ball here. Lawley chasing it down. Lawley into the box. Davidson knocks it away. Lawley right back up though. 19 on 19, one-on-one. Lawley and Dunn. Lawley forced to go back through Bronze. Walsh on it, pressured by Rapinoe. Walsh chip in. White dives for it. There were shouts from the few English fans in attendance of penalty. White looked to have handled it, right?
Yeah, it looked like she got a handball on this, if anything, which is what I think you're hearing. Yep, clear handball, which is Nair saying just as much.
Sonnet doesn't get her a little bit there.
Let's check out another angle of that one. Here it is. Thank you.
Oh, that right foot from Sonnet.
I'm going to say no, Sebastian.
Wouldn't be the first time I was wrong.
Could be wrong, but I don't think there's enough there. Plus, it's not a ball she's going to get to.
Dahlkemper finds Morgan. Drops it for Long. Now Horan with some space in between lines. Though the touch fails her. 38th minute. Still 0-0 here at Orlando City Stadium. England and the United States. US #1 in the latest FIFA rankings. England #3. So two of the top 3 teams in the world to decide the 2018 SheBelieves Cup. And 4 of the top 6 teams in the world in this tournament overall. Hard pressed to find a better competition if you go off the FIFA rankings. Stokes wheeling out of trouble. Nice job here to find White. She'll send it in behind. Taylor in a foot race with Davidson. Out comes Nair, well handled by the American goalie. Carly Lloyd crunching through. Another big challenge between Stokes and Morgan. Last touch by the English defender. Much to her chagrin, it'll be an American throw.
Another good decision by Nair. Off her line quickly. Davidson knows she's coming, just tries to get her body in between Jody Taylor and the ball.
Julie, pretty clear that Alyssa Nair right now, the leader in the clubhouse, so to say, for that #1 spot.
Absolutely, and especially with these 3 games, and especially with the 2 big saves she made against Germany to close out that game.
Do you feel like that was a big moment for her?
Yeah, and a big confidence moment for her.
Davidson in another foot race with Taylor. And the Stanford sophomore will win it once again. White comes away with the ball. Stokes to Walsh. England starting to enjoy some possession before the pass fails to connect to Fran Kirby. For all the criticism Neville has received, coming home with a SheBelieves Cup title would mean something.
especially as we were talking about that 4-1 win over France, although it is looking like it was a much different team.
Nobody will remember that.
He just gets the score line on that one. I'm not sure why Corinne Diacre was going with so many young players in that first game. It's one thing to dabble with a few of them, but she had a whole different lineup in that first game versus the last two.
More surprising, the lineup or her comments?
Her comments.
She really hammered the team after that one. Dunn, nice pass out of pressure. Oh, it leads to a turnover. Kirby into the box. No, Davidson there just in time to apply the touch. Nair, quick long ball here, looking to test this English defense. Bright racing back. She'll play it safe and knock it out for an American throw. Just about 5 minutes from halftime here in Orlando, still 0-0. U.S. must win this game to win the tournament. England can settle for a draw. Long ball into the box. Haran, a well-timed jump for the header, but she nods it wide.
Another look at that. Dahlkemper again with another long ball, flighting it in, a bit hopeful. And I think that's one of the things U.S. is going to discuss at halftime is, with all the possession, how do you become more dangerous in that attacking final third? Because that's where the piece of the puzzle's been missing. That final pass, the cross, getting cut out at the near post on so many of those plays, just not connecting on that final pass. And then on the defensive side is choosing when you're going to press. You're finding at times Alex Morgan is going or Pugh is going and the rest of the team isn't ready, and you're going to expend so much energy when you go alone.
When you talk about chemistry between the top three, obviously I'm talking about offensive chemistry, but I suppose it has to do with the press as well. Haran in behind. Bright clears, but Pugh intercepts. Pugh now dashing across the middle. Pugh still on it. Drops it for Dunn. Rapinoe. The cross, touched away. Bardsley, big stop for the moment. Here comes Emily Sonnet. Her cross, knocked out of bounds. Corner kick coming for the U.S. Can they generate a goal just before the half? 43rd minute, corner kick coming. It'll be Rapinoe to take it. 5 players in the box for the United States. Pugh and Dahlkemper option short. Rapinoe drive it in to the back post, flicked on by Lloyd. Davidson chases it down now. She's got some time. Lofts it back towards the penalty spot, cleared away. Dahlkemper settles. Swings it to Pino. Pugh looking for the overlap. Pugh, the cross. And here comes England. Kirby had a chance to break. Instead, she goes back to Stokes. That could prove to be costly. Collision in the box. Play on, says the referee, Carol Ann Chenard. And the fans here in Orlando do not like it. Dahlkemper. Another long ball. This time Bronze, there to win it for England. Nearly played in behind Davidson. But as is the case more often than not, she just gets there. Rapinoe now, switching for Pugh. Pugh and Stokes. Pugh wants it one-on-one. She's cutting to the inside now on her left foot. Pugh, left foot, Pugh! It was painted for the upper corner. What a run from Mallory Pugh.
Carly Lloyd wanting that ball in behind, and what she does is actually clogs it up, forces Pugh to go inside, and she just keeps taking another touch, another look. Oh my, how close is that? And we've seen Pugh just a month and a half ago do something very similar where it ended up in the upper corner against Denmark. But what a beautiful run that was by the 19-year-old. It still amazes me when I say that, the 19-year-old. Put that in perspective.
We got two teenagers out here between Pugh and Davidson. 1 minute of stoppage time. We've got to remind you, coming up at halftime, nice feature on the SheBelieves Summit. Julie, I know you were involved in that. Brianna Scurry inducted into the Soccer Hall of Fame. That ceremony here in Orlando last month, plus first half highlights and analysis, all coming up at the half.
And what a frenetic finish to this half. The U.S. will be disappointed not to get one out of there. 3 good looks, back to back to back.
Foul called here. Don't think the players on the field heard the whistle. Set piece for the U.S. just on their side of midfield. Closing seconds of the first half. Scoreless, a result that, if it holds, favors England. They would be your 2018 SheBelieves Cup champions. 45 minutes still to go. And there is the final whistle of the first half. 45 minutes down, 45 to play in this, the SheBelieves Cup finale between the United States and England. Some close calls for Jill Ellis and the Americans, but nothing to show for it yet. The Tifo game strong here in Orlando. 0-0 at the half. When we return, we'll share with you a feature from the SheBelieves Summit this past weekend in New York City. Don't go far. We're back in a moment.